Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. Today with us, we have the presence of the Honorable Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein, Acting Minister of Transport, the Honorable Datuk Sri Hanifah Haji Aman, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Datuk Azharuddin Abdul Rahman, Director General, Department of Civil Aviation, Ahmad Jawri Yahya, Chief Executive Officer, Malaysian Airline System. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, to start off the press conference this evening, I hereby call upon the Honourable Acting Minister of Transport to deliver his statement. Honourable Minister, if you please do the honours, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. At 10 o'clock this morning, the Prime Minister received a call from the Prime Minister of Australia informing him that two possible objects related to the search for MH370 has been identified in the southern Indian Ocean. The Australian authorities in Kuala Lumpur have also briefed me on the situation, and the Australian Foreign Minister has spoken to the Foreign Minister of Malaysia. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority continues coordinating the search for the missing Malaysian Airlines aircraft within Australia's search and rescue area, with assistance from the Australian Defence Force, the New Zealand Air Force, and the US Navy. AMSA's Rescue Coordination Centre, RCC, Australia has received satellite imagery of objects possibly related to the search for MH370. RCC Australia received an expert assessment of commercial satellite imagery today. The images were captured by satellite. They may not be related to the aircraft. The assessment of these images was provided by the Australian Geospatial Intelligence Organisation as a possible indication of debris southwest of Perth. As a result of this information, 4 aircraft have been reorientated to an area 2,500 kilometres southwest of Perth. A Royal Australian Air Force P-3 Orion aircraft arrived in the area at about 10:50 a.m. Another 3 aircraft have been tasked by RCC Australia to the area, including a second RAAF Orion, a Royal New Zealand Air Force Orion, and a US Navy P-8 Poseidon. The Poseidon was expected to arrive early this afternoon. The second RAAF Orion was expected to depart RAAF base Perth mid-afternoon. The New Zealand Orion was due to depart this afternoon. An RAAF C-130 Hercules aircraft has been tasked by RCC Australia to drop data marker buoys to assist in drift modelling. They will provide an ongoing reference point if the task of relocating the objects becomes protracted. A merchant ship that responded to a shipping broadcast issued by RCC Australia on Monday was also expected to arrive in the area this afternoon. The Royal Australian Navy ship HMS Success is en route to the area, but some days away. The ship is well equipped to recover any objects located and proven to be from MH370. Every effort is being made to locate the objects seen in the satellite imagery. It must be stressed that these sightings, while credible, are still to be confirmed. The search for MH370 is a multinational effort. I will now give you an update on the assets which have been deployed. During the course of this operation, the Chief of the Defence Force has spoken to his counterparts from countries including Australia, China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Maldives, Nepal, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, the UK, and the USA. All were very supportive and all offered their assistance. As the focus of the search has moved from the South China Sea and Straits of Malacca to the northern and southern corridors, our international partners have continued to provide whatever support they can. A number of assets have been deployed at different phases of the search and rescue operation, and currently there are 18 ships, 29 aircraft, and 6 shipborne helicopters deployed along the northern and southern corridors as follows. In the northern corridor, there are 4 aircraft, 2 from Malaysia, 1 from Japan, and 1 from the US. In the southern corridor, there are 25 aircraft, 2 from Malaysia, 5 from Australia, 3 from China, 4 from Indonesia, 2 from India, 4 from Japan, 1 from New Zealand, 2 from South Korea, 1 from the UAE, and 1 from the US of A. All 18 ships are in the Southern Corridor, 6 from Malaysia, 1 from Australia, 5 from China, and 6 from Indonesia. This deployment includes 6 helicopters, 3 from Malaysia and 3 from China. Until we are certain that we have located MH370, search and rescue operations will continue in both corridors. I can confirm that Malaysia is sending 2 aircraft to Kazakhstan, and the UK is planning to send 1 ship to the Southern Corridor. In addition to the assets I just listed above, a number of countries in the Northern Corridor are carrying out search and rescue operations within their own territory. China is using every means possible, including 21 satellites, to search the area within its borders and is ready to send more ships and aircraft wherever they are needed. In Cambodia, 4 helicopters are conducting search operations within Cambodia territory. The Laos Air Force is carrying out search operations within Laos. Singapore are using their International Information Fusion Center, where a Malaysian representative is stationed to notify mariners and help with the search. The Thai military are conducting search operations in the northern part of Thailand with all available aircraft. And Vietnam are conducting search operations within their territory using an unspecified number of aircraft. Together, this represents a significant international force deployment, and I am thankful for the cooperation of our partners as we continue to focus on finding MH370. Families. The high-level team I announced yesterday is leaving for Beijing this evening. I would also like to confirm that representatives from the Malaysian government spoke to the families who were present here yesterday. In addition, the Prime Minister's special envoy to China and the Chinese ambassador to Malaysia will lead a briefing today for the Chinese families who are here in Kuala Lumpur. Also in attendance will be the Department of Civil Aviation, the Armed Forces, the Royal Malaysian Police, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and MAS. A similar briefing will also be held for the other families. Ladies and gentlemen, for the families around the world, the one piece of information that we want most, that they want most, is the information we just don't have, the location of MH370. Our primary focus has always been to find the aircraft, and with every passing day, our efforts have intensified. Yesterday, I said we wanted to reduce the area of the search. We now have a credible lead. There remains much work to be done to deploy these assets, and this work will continue overnight. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we'll have the Q&A sessions. We'll start with the local media. We'll start from this corner, please. Local media? Okay.
Leslie from Bernama. Datuk Sri, is now since we have a credible evidence in the southern, is that the focus now in northern will be less? Secondly, is there other countries that requested that we deploy more assets, need our assets?
I've listed down all the assets that we have deployed, and we have not de-intensified those efforts, but we are intensifying the area, the search area in which we had that credible lead from the Australian authorities.
Yes, please.
I'm Keith from BFM 89.9 in KL.
Hi, Keith.
I know the priority is to find the aircraft, and we are doing all we can, and we will never give up looking for the aircraft. But judging from the commotion that we saw yesterday, I think it's fair that we should address these couple of things. The way this incident is shaping up with so many instances where leads turn out to be nothing, I see there are 4 possible outcomes. Number 1, the plane is found, everyone is okay, maybe injured, but we know how to move on from there. Number 2, the plane or debris is found, everyone has perished, we also know how to move on from there. Number 3, someone claims responsibility, so we know it's fate, we also know how to move on from there. The 4th one is that there's no evidence, no clue for a prolonged period of time. How do we go forward? Because bear in mind that lives still do need to go on, bills need to be paid, mortgages need to be settled. what would your position be as the leader of this search operation? Thank you, sir.
Yes, I know that's a very pertinent question, but as of today, I can only tell you on a daily basis. Today, what I'm comfortable with saying is that at least there is a credible lead, and that credible lead requires us overnight to be verified and corroborated. That gives us hope. As long as there's hope, we will continue. And that is why I said that it is a priority to find the aircraft and possibly the black box. But to be fair to the families, we must also show that we must never, never give up hope.
Yes, please, your question.
It's Paritra from fz.com. My question is to Mas. When was the duty roster for this particular flight released? Was it before 3rd February or after 3rd February?
Say again?
The duty roster for this particular flight, was it released before 3rd February or after 3rd February?
The duty roster is, we normally, release it as normal. There's no change in terms of, right? It's just a normal duty roster. We normally release, about a few weeks before, yeah. Okay.
Please, could you pass the mic over to the gentleman in that corner, please? Thank you.
Datuk Seri, bila agaknya...
Introduce yourselves first, sir.
Amri dari TV Al Hijrah. Datuk Seri, bila agaknya masa yang paling cepat sekali untuk kita dapat pengesahan image satelit yang dikesan oleh Australia tu? Yang kedua, mungkin kita dah tahu dia berdekatan dengan Perth, kan? Mungkin ada bandar yang lebih dekat lagi daripada kawasan perairan tu?
Tidak ada bandar yang lebih dekat. Dan kita menunggu maklumat dan laporan daripada aset-aset yang telah pun berada di kawasan atau dalam perjalanan ke kawasan berkenaan. Bila-bila masa sahaja. Dan ini merupakan satu breaking news yang cukup penting yang ingin diketahui oleh orang ramai satu dunia. Percayalah, apabila kita dapat maklumat itu, kita akan maklumkan kepada dunia, insya-Allah.
Yes, please. Introduce yourselves first, sir.
Dr. Sri, Hamza from the Riot Post. Any information on the Russian and Ukraine passengers?
Not today. Sorry? Yes, of course.
Local media? This side, please. Thank you.
Hi, Sulin from Astrawani. Would you consider this lead as the best lead so far from day 1 to day 13? And also, usually, how accurate is this satellite imaging? Because we've seen from China and also from India, they've all proven wrong. So how can we double confirm this time? Because also Australia mentioned earlier that they didn't receive any information of unidentified flight in their radar. So how can we confirm that? And is this the best lead we got so far?
We consider all leads to be at the same level of importance. But the point that satellite imaging and the experience that we went through in respect of the images from the Chinese satellite confirms our position was correct from the start. Any leads that we receive must be corroborated and verified, because if found false, not only it will jeopardize our investigations and our search, but it will give false hopes to the families.
Please, sir.
Datuk Sri, Farid from Star. Is there any initial data being recovered from the flight simulator? And if not, when do they expect to recover any data from the flight simulator?
Yesterday, the IGP has indicated quite a substantial amount regarding the information on the flight simulator, and indicated that all the agencies are now studying, including international agencies. So I think when we do get that information, we will release it to the media.
Please.
Datuk Sri, I'm Hema from Capital TV. What will be your next immediate action once it is verified? If at all that we found it, so it's verified, what will be your immediate next course of action?
This is where the French team, which I've spoken to, is very important. And I have indicated yesterday that the next step would be to find the black box. And with the case of the airlines, the Air France 447, even though they knew where the location and there was debris, it took them 2 years before finding the black box. So we're now going into the realm of trying to find the black box, and sonar technology and different assets will have to be deployed in that effort. But we will address that when the time comes.
Okay, please could you pass the mic over to the lady there? Please, to the back, sir. Thank you. At the back, at the back. Thank you, thank you. At the back. Right. Your question, please. Identify.
I'm Vadini from The Sun. Datuk Sri, can you please confirm when was the satellite images taken?
Yes, do you want to say something about that?
The satellite images was taken early this morning, Australian time.
The dates on some of the images are March 16. Can you explain that?
We don't have that information.
They're probably available online.
Okay. We'll now
It's not been
open.
verified.
Sorry, can you confirm that they were taken this morning? Because that's not at all clear.
What we got is the Prime Minister of Australia talked to our Prime Minister this morning.
Yes, the news was received this morning. As far as the images are concerned, I don't think we can actually verify when they were taken. I will check with the Australian...
Excuse me, hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
I know it is very important. That is why we have to be very clear in our answers. I think you can appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, now we open to the international media. I'll start. Please, the microphone, please. Okay, we'll start with you. Thank you, sir.
I had a question for MAS. You said that 4 waitlisted passengers were confirmed to board the aircraft. So the seating capacity of the aircraft is much more. Can you explain the gap of about 50 seats that existed in why didn't you have a waitlist on the aircraft?
Well, 4 passengers did not turn up, basically, for whatever reason, right? And what we do normally, when we have seats available on the aircraft, we will then call passengers who wants to take that flight. These are passengers from basically another flight, and we will offer them those seats.
Yes, sir, your question, please, sir.
Sydney Morning Herald, you've told us here, you've told us a number of times that there was a deliberate action by somebody on board. Could you just clear up, does that mean that a possibility of a catastrophic event on board, the depressurisation, people becoming unconscious, is that ruled out because of...
That is not ruled out. That has not been ruled out and is part of the investigation.
Is there any weight given to either a deliberate action compared to a catastrophic event?
Like I said, that has not been ruled out. And basically, the urgency to find the black box will give us more information on that line of investigation. And basically, if we can confirm that the debris identified this morning is the exact debris and efforts are now being made to go to that location, the next step is to actually find the black box. And with the Air France crash, it took 2 years. So now we are preparing for a possible operation, a multinational operation, to recover that black box. Exactly to answer your question, sir.
Okay, your question, please.
Thank
Identify
you.
yourself, please.
Thank you. I'm a reporter from China Daily. And we were told that Chinese family members yesterday here, they left quietly because someone from your authority told them some promising information. What was that? And is it related to today's new update about 2 parts? What did your people tell them? Thank you.
Well, as far as the what you call the next of kin from China, in Kuala Lumpur, they have been given, in fact, very frequent update, about 2 to 3 times a day. These are the same update that we gave you, right? And obviously, if someone promised more, we don't really know. So, but anyway, We are investigating why they are coming here. In fact, I must say that we regret what happened yesterday, and I understand the Minister has ordered a full investigation what happened yesterday. Yesterday, we immediately, in fact, brought in very high-level officials from the government to explain to them exactly what we explained to you here.
And I just want to confirm and reiterate what I said earlier, that the high-level team that I announced yesterday in the PC will be leaving for Beijing this evening. I also like to confirm that representatives from the Malaysian government already spoke to some of the families, and a special envoy to China, the Prime Minister's special envoy, together with the Chinese ambassador to Malaysia, will lead a briefing for the Chinese families who are here in Kuala Lumpur. If that is what you mean by more information, maybe that could be the answer.
Yes, please, your question, please.
I'm from Chinese Hunan TV station. Will you please provide any further help to Chinese family to Australia right now?
Can you repeat that question?
Sorry. Will you provide any help to Chinese family to Australia right now?
Yeah, sure. We do take care of the next of kin, and assuming that it's confirmed that the aircraft is located somewhere close to Australia, we will obviously make arrangement to fly the next of kin there.
The credible breaking news today regarding the search or the satellite images, I think that would be on uppermost mind of all the families. So I think that would be the first thing that we're going to update the families when information comes in.
What will you say to the families? What would you say to the families tonight, Mr. Minister?
I will tell them whatever we find, and my sympathies, my heart is with them all the time. And this is a very difficult time. As I spoke to the French team, they had to deal with the families of the passengers for 2 years after the crash of the French airlines. And this is information that they are sharing with us, and how to deal with the raw emotions. I do feel for them. And I say that on record, and I say that to the world. We do care for them, and we can understand what they're we can try to understand what they're going through. But this is something that we're getting expert advice too.
Were you a little ashamed at the way they were treated?
Well, as AJ said just now, yesterday, we regret the actions that happened yesterday.
Okay, that's your question, sir.
Jim Reed from the BBC. Minister, you keep using the word credible. Could you explain why this information particularly is so credible? Is it the size of the pieces, or what makes it so different?
Well, the only other lead that we had earlier was from a Chinese satellite in the South China Sea. Can you bring the hand? Bring the South China Sea. So right now, the information that we have received from the Australian authorities was actually corroborated to a certain extent from other satellites. This is something that we can bring our ships across. This is something that the two prime ministers spoke to. That makes it slightly different from the earlier lead.
Okay, please, your question, please, sir.
Jake here from Dow Jones. I'm wondering whether you have prepared any underwater search of some kind. Have you approached any companies or organisations regarding searching for pieces of the aircraft underwater in any way?
Deep sea searches and surveillance is something that we are already looking into. And we're looking at the possibility of sonar, as I mentioned earlier, and the technology and the assets that are available to a very limited few. If you're talking about towing ping locators and vessel pinging locators, not many countries have got the vessels or the capability to tow that sort of equipment. After the 30 days is up, as what the French airlines had to go through, then we're looking about submarine technology. And then before that becomes an issue, let me tell you that the Malaysian submarines do not have that technology.
Okay, please. Your question, sir.
Minister Jonathan Rugman from Channel 4 News. Have you encountered any reluctance from the Americans or the Australians to hand over satellite imagery? Because this photograph that's appeared is stamped as 4 days ago.
Well, I think the actual date in which the images that have come out in the internet will have to be verified, but I can confirm to you that we have had no reluctance from any of our partners in this search and rescue operation.
Okay, sir, your question, last question for the J.
Dato' Sri, Akil from the NST here. Dato' Sri, you have continuously compared this incident to the Air France incident, which took 2 years to find the black box. Are we prepared to go that long? Is there a possibility that it could take that long? And are we prepared for the search missions to carry on for that long?
I've only compared it with the French airline crash only in the last few days, because it has taken so long to locate the aircraft. So while we're moving to another phase, in the event that it is confirmed that the debris that is found in the satellite images and efforts that are ongoing right now to verify and corroborate that, in the event it's in the positive, then we need to go into the realms of actually comparing it with the French crash, because the conditions in the Indian Ocean is very similar to the Atlantic, and that poses different challenges in our efforts as we proceed further. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's all the session for today. We'll meet again tomorrow.